as operations continue on Oak Island.
Here we are.
Approximately 3,700 miles to the east, Rick Lagina, along with his nephews Alex and Peter, Oak Island historian Doug Kroll, and researcher Corian Mole have arrived in Camerano, Italy, where they are meeting with researchers Emiliano Sacchetti and Alberto Recanatini.
I'm so glad to see you guys. I know you're interested in the underground system of Camerano because of the Oak Island lead cross.
Building upon the research that was shared with the team back in 2016 by Rick's late friend, Zena Halpern, Emiliano has invited them to visit the enigmatic site known as the Camerano Caves, a system of man-made underground labyrinths which date back more than 2,500 years, and which features a section that is shaped nearly identically to the 14th century lead cross that was found on Oak Island in 2017.
So this is Alberto. He's been mapping and exploring these caves for 50 years, and he's going to be our guide today.
Perfect.
So why don't we go inside?
There's no better time than now.
Let's go on the ground.
Although the town of Camerano, Italy, dates back to 1198, the first documented civilization in the region were the Piceni, who are believed to have created the underground cave system in the 6th century BC.
Looks like the catacombs.
Keeps going, huh?
The area became part of the Roman Empire around 290 BC.
It's huge.
Wow. Keeps going.
However, between the 12th and 14th centuries, it was re-established as a stronghold for the Knights Templar, who modified portions of the cave system for reasons that remain a mystery.
The construct, it's incredible. It's large, it's massive.
Wow.
The hope is that there'll be a part of the system that Alberto can directly connect to possibly Templars, or possibly to a belief system that is associated with the artifacts that we have found on the island.
The Order of the Knights Templar has remained shrouded in mystery since it was established in 1118 in Jerusalem. They were headquartered on the original site of King Solomon's Temple for the purpose of protecting Christian interests in the Holy Land during the Crusades. They became extraordinarily wealthy by developing one of the world's first banking systems. But in 1307, they were disbanded by the Catholic Church and persecuted by the King of France for the alleged crime of heresy. However, some believe that the Templars were actually targeted because they had come into possession of many priceless religious treasures.
Let's go to the Venus Cave.
Perfect.
Follow you.
Those sacred valuables have never been found, and researchers such as Corian and Emiliano believe that surviving members of the order smuggled them throughout Europe before ultimately hiding them in the New World on Oak Island.
So we are now at the mouth of the Burchiani Cave, aka the Venus Cave. And I'll leave it to Marco, who's another very expert guide.
The Burchiani Cave is one of the oldest caves in Camerano.
You know, the shape is why we're here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we think the shape of your cave completely matches the shape of the lead cross that was found on Oak Island. That's exciting.
Yeah. Okay. We have exclusive entrance to the cave, and if Emiliano and Rick want to visit, we could go.
I would certainly love to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Fantastic.
This is what in a church you would call the transept, right? We have the left arm, the right arm, and according to Alberto, there is a slight difference. This arm should be a bit longer than this one.
Which is exactly what our lead cross exhibits. Is there really an intimate relationship between the lead cross found on Oak Island on the Smith's Cove Beach, what that cross represents and what this represents, and are they aligned?
I think they are the same thing, and I'm inclined to believe that this is a very important moment because it's some sort of validation.
Obviously, you know my friendship with Zina. Makes you get emotional, right? Because I reach out and touch this now. If this really is that, she was the one who guided us here, really. She helped us. And now maybe this will help us move the story forward. And that's why we're here, really, is to make connections. To hear it from you means something.
Yeah, I don't want to be emotional as well.
Lead on.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
So there's another cave system that I would like to show you guys, and it's in Osimo. It's a few kilometers from Camerano, and I'm pretty sure you'll find it very interesting.
I'd say yes.
Okay.
Let's go.
So we're in Osimo.
Nearly 3,700 miles to the east, in the town of Osimo, Italy.
I want to introduce you Fabrizio Bartoli.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleasure.
Researcher Emiliano Sacchetti and Professor Fabrizio Bartoli, a historian and modern-day member of the Knights Templar, meet with Rick Lagina and other members of the team just outside an ancient site known as the Grante Simoneti.
Here, there's another amazing underground cave system. It's about 30 kilometers wide.
Wow.
There are some interesting carvings in these caves, and Fabrizio will show us and explain us the meaning of those carvings.
Well, we're really interested to see what we might see in these caves.
Why don't we step in?
Yeah, can't wait.
Well, look at that.
Oh, is that across there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at this.
Oh,
Right there. Hey, Rick. Check this out.
that's cool.
We have seen this symbol before,
H.O. stone.
Yeah.
and that's a direct tie to Oak Island.
In a cave system known as the Grante Simoneti in Osimo, Italy, Alex Lagina and his cousin Peter Fernetti have just found an ancient carving believed to have been made by members of the Knights Templar, matching one found on the so-called H.O. stone, which was discovered in the 1920s on Oak Island.
Haven't we had some people who have thought, like, this is a symbol for gold?
That is true, yes.
Is it possible that Peter and Alex have found a symbol in the Grante Simoneti related to the sacred treasures that many believe the Templar order smuggled out of Europe between the 12th and 14th centuries? If so, could the H.O. stone be a critical clue as to where they are located today?
The circle with the dot obviously is represented on the H.O. stone. We are beginning to draw some connective tissue to perhaps Templar involvement on Oak Island.
Kudos to both of you for finding that. It's impactful, it is.
There's a lot more to learn.
Hi guys. Hey, come stai?
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Benvenuti a Viterbo.
Nice to meet you.
Buongiorno.
Gianluca Di Prospero is a Templar investigator, and he's gonna show us a few things around Viterbo today.
Rick Lagina and members of the team have traveled some 65 miles northwest of Rome to the city of Viterbo, Italy.
Viterbo was an important crossroad, and for 24 years, Viterbo was the center of the Christianity and the known world.
They have arranged to meet with Gianluca Di Prospero, an author who has spent more than 2 decades researching the medieval activities of the Knights Templar in this region.
What is the Templar connection with this area?
Nella chiesa ci sono numerosi simboli che ora vi volevo far vedere. Sono riconducibili ai cavalieri templari.
Actually, he found some interesting symbols in a church that is very close to here. It's called Santa Maria Nuova. There might be some Templar connection.
I'd say let's take a look.
Chiara?
Sì?
Founded in the 8th century, Viterbo became the temporary headquarters for Pope Alexander IV and the Catholic Church during a time of civil unrest in Rome. During that period, the city also served as a stronghold for the Templar order.
Eccoci. Allora, siamo all'interno praticamente della chiesa di Santa Maria Nuova. L'origine della costruzione è intorno al 1080.
This is Santa Maria Nuova, a church built in 1080. As you can see, it's full of paintings, carvings, and symbolism.
What's hard to believe is this was built in 1080.
Unbelievable.
I think there's a lot to learn here, so let's start an initial investigation and see what we come up with.
Okay.
If you see anything at all, flag everyone else down. Okay?
Great idea. Okay,
Plan.
let's do that.
The church is an incredible edifice. It's beautiful. Churches were, even though they were public, they held secrets of their own. And we need to learn as much as we can.
Hey guys, come take a look at this.
What did you find, Pete?
I think something pretty interesting. It's unmistakable. Cross with the 4 dots, same as the HO stone.
E non è un caso che questo tipo, diciamo, di croce si trova in posti molto importanti, dei luoghi dove poi ho trovato anche della simbologia templare.
He says that these 4 dots crosses are marking special places that Templars used to be in and or around.
Legato alle illustrazioni delle sacre reliquie. Qui abbiamo per esempio il Santo Graal, che è molto rappresentato, e qui ritroviamo questa croce che, come dire, è una sorta di sottolineatura.
This is also present in places connected with the Holy Grail or the Holy Shroud.
If this 4-dot cross is only found in Templar-associated locations or with Templar-associated articles that they may have been safeguarding, I mean, it speaks volumes for our HO stone.
In the 1920s, a massive boulder featuring a number of enigmatic carvings was discovered by treasure hunters on the northern shore of Oak Island. Suspecting that it marked the location of buried treasure, they destroyed it with dynamite in order to dig beneath it. Nothing was found below the massive boulder. However, is it possible that a fragment known as the HO stone, which featured a cross surrounded by 4 dots, represented a key clue that sacred Templar treasures are hidden on Oak Island? If so, could that explain the high trace evidence of gold and other metals that have been detected deep in the Money Pit area?
Every place we visit, it speaks to me that there's an ongoing story here, an ongoing message. We need to look backwards in time, and that's what we've done today, and I think we need to continue to do that.
Yeah. Let's go.
We have seen that cross everywhere, from Portugal to the HO stone, and we know for a fact that Templars use that representation, but it certainly is a direct connection to Oak Island.
Rick.
Hai visto, curioso?
Right here.
Queste alte. È Rick.
Right there.
H-I-C.
Which in Latin means here.
I think there's an A even on the far side there.
There's an A here, yeah.
È molto simile, se vedete, al compasso e alla riga. È una forma abbastanza strana.
In his opinion, this refers to a compass. And if you take a look closely, there's also a square. So it could be a Masonic symbolism, which is weird in a church like this, so old and so important here in Viterbo.
A possible Masonic compass? Carved in the wall of a medieval church with known connections to the Knights Templar? Many believe that the secretive fraternity, known as the Freemasons, evolved from the Templar order after their dissolution by the Catholic Church in the 14th century. Curiously, ever since the Money Pit was discovered in 1795, Freemasons have been involved in nearly every single organized company of treasure hunters that has tried to solve the mystery. Masonic symbols, such as triangles, crosses, and the letter G, representing the divine creator, have also been found all across the island. Is it possible that Alex Lagina has just found more evidence that these organizations are directly connected? And if so, does that also explain what Freemasons have been trying to find on Oak Island for more than 2 centuries.
I just keep thinking about the HO stone, and let me show you this. So, in the church, we saw this. Right? Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Here.
If you do this, you get the HO stone. And this symbol we've learned today means Templar-related relic. Mm-hmm. And what have we found that the symbol at the end means?
Some have interpreted it to be gold.
Yeah. If you put it all together, I mean, there's the possibility that the HO stone represents here, Templar, gold.
We know that in medieval times and Middle Age times, they really liked their ciphers. They really liked their hidden meaning. So maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You may have just filled in the blank, or a blank, or blanks.
I think it was incredibly insightful of Alex. I think he and Peter work very well together. I'm very proud of them as my nephews.
Hopefully this means something.
If he's on to something, that is fantastic. We all believe the HO stone is important. The circle and the dot could be a symbol for gold. Is it possible that it hints at or suggests that there's a religious relic associated with the treasure of Oak Island? Well, at this point, there's some strong suggestions that that is indeed the case.
Well, what we did is we took the eyes and boots approach to the information hunt, which is absolute imperative, and that's my thought as we head back to the island.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Grazie. We owe you a debt of gratitude.